electric vehicle seems to be a new Rorschach test. Does the BMW i3 look like a space-age transportation pod about to whisk you into an exciting future? Or does the Mercedes-Benz B-Class electric drive reassure you that a battery-powered Mercedes will still be a Mercedes? Which vehicle signals your environmental virtue more effectively, the sleek and expensive-looking Tesla Model S or the somewhat gawky Chevrolet Bolt? Hyundai's 2017 Ioniq Electric is the newest inkblot on the block. It's not a Jetsons bubbletop or a Hot Wheels Sizzler or a Tesla or a Bolt. It's one-third of a trio of new Ioniqs, and it's designed to blend in. It looks pretty much like any other Ioniq, which all look a lot like other Hyundais. How much psychological self-actualization is there in an electric car that's proudly efficient in its use of electricity but keeps quiet about it? And does efficiency trump the fact that the Ioniq Electric is behind the leaders in terms of range? With its blocked-off grille covered in the usual piano black plastic, a stack of LEDs defining each end of the front bumper cover, and an EV-exclusive tail lamp design, the Ioniq Electric is subtle about announcing its ampere dependency. But the rest of the car is conventionally drawn to a fault. It's a fastback hatch with lines that split the difference between a first-generation Chevy Volt and a second-generation Toyota Prius, a modern polywog with creases. It's unlikely to make much of a splash when thrown into the traffic stream. That conventionality continues inside the Ioniq Electric, where Hyundai will proudly point out what paints were made from soybean oils and which plastics have been mixed with volcanic stone and powdered wood. Hey, many of the soft-touch plastic surfaces contain sugar cane, the same stuff that provides the natural sweetness of Mexican Coca-Cola. Once the driver settles into the front seat covered in biofabric, the Ioniq seems instantly familiar. It's an amplified Elantra, not a break with reality. And as in the Elantra, the seat bottoms are relatively short and lacking in thigh support. A push-button drive controller sits between the seats where the shift lever would be in other Ioniqs. There are 4 buttons: D for drive, P for park, R for reverse, and N for neutral. You probably could have figured that out on your own. 6.0 inches long with a 106.3-inch wheelbase, the Ioniq nestles in a bit shorter than a Prius and a foot longer than a Bolt. The lithium-ion battery pack is largely buried under the rear seat and cargo floor, leaving most, but not all, of the space in the rear cargo area open for, well, cargo. Power comes from a 118 horsepower permanent magnet AC motor that delivers a 215 pounds-foot turbine of torque with which you could wrap Christmas presents. The EPA says the battery-powered Ioniq is good for 124 miles of range, but Hyundai is even more proud of its EPA combined rating of 136 miles per gallon equivalent. The company claims that's good enough to produce the best operating costs in the business. The EPA figures that the Ioniq Electric will need 81 cents of juice to cover 25 miles compared with 92 cents for the Bolt and 97 cents for a Nissan Leaf. Recharging the Ioniq's lithium-ion battery up to 80% takes about 23 minutes using 100 kilowatts DC fast charge capability, which can take advantage of some of the newest, fastest chargers, more so than the Bolt EV, Hyundai says. Alternately, the car can be charged via a standard household socket with the integrated in-cable control box, ICCB. Hyundai says it'll take about 4.5 hours to fully charge the car from a 240-volt household source. But efficiency is one thing, driving is something else. The Ioniq's suspension consists of struts up front and a torsion beam in the back. But this simple hardware is almost sublimely supple over most surfaces, and it's actually fun to dive into the occasional corner. The steering is perfectly weighted and precise, and while the 205/55R16 Michelin Energy Saver all-season tires aren't the greatest, within their modest limits the Ioniq is a sweet-natured handler. Tap the left paddle behind the steering wheel and the Electric's regenerative braking will progressively supply in 4 steps sufficient deceleration to the point where it can make the brake pedal nearly superfluous. Toggle the paddle on the right 4 times and the system will go into a freewheel mode that maintains the car's momentum. It's oh so close to being fun.